He said he loved her. He said they were match made in heaven. But her family had never seen him before. And after a visit from him one weekend, and that was only the beginning. This is not just a love story, it is a haunting tale of loss, manipulation, and the quiet power of truth. This is the story of Chiamaka Obianuju and the man who tried to claim her in life and in death. Chiamaka was 35 years old, a beautiful, composed woman who had spent the last 7 years living in Enugu. She was a clinical psychologist known for her calm spirit and devotion to her patients. Though many admired her, she never let any man get close. To her family, especially her younger brother Somto, she always said, "Some of us were made for more than just romance. I want to heal minds, not chase hearts." What most didn't know was that Chiamaka also lived with a secret. She had thalassemia major, a rare blood disorder, but she was disciplined. She kept it in check. So when Somto got a call at 5:43 a.m. on a Monday morning from an unknown number, and a deep voice said, "I am Chiamaka's husband," she didn't make it. Somto's world stopped. The man's name was Tony Eze. He lives in Lagos, ran a tech startup, and claimed he and Chiamaka had been in a relationship for 10 months. "She was my love," he said. "I visited her on Saturday. We had dinner at my hotel. She stayed over, but by Sunday night she began to shiver, then collapsed. I took her to the clinic nearby. She died early this morning." Somto was shaking. His sister had never mentioned this man. Tony had taken Chiamaka to a private hospital facility different from where Chiamaka usually go to, unknown to her family. She has always gone to a teaching hospital, a place familiar with her condition. "Why didn't you take her to the teaching hospital?" Somto asked. Tony replied, "There was no time." At the hospital, Tony signed the admission form as next of kin to Chiamaka. But when Chiamaka's body was taken to the morgue and family came for arrangement, Tony insisted on collecting her death certificate himself. The hospital demanded a marriage certificate he didn't have. The form was changed, and Sonto, who had documents proving he was her next of kin, received the certificate. Somto and his cousin Choma entered Chiamaka's apartment later that evening. Everything was neat, untouched, no sign of a man living there. No wedding photos, no traditional attire. Even her diary had no mention of Tony. If there was no information on Tony in this apartment, who is Tony then? They asked themselves. Somto contacted Chiamaka's landlord, an elderly man who had lived in the compound for 12 years. "Sir, do you know Tony Eze?" The man replied, "I have never had that name. I have never seen a man come here except your sister's driver." Meanwhile, Tony messaged Somto asking for documents to process her pension, insurance, and medical refund. He was so fast with all these requests. He even asked for her national identification number and bank assets. Somto was livid. Chioma, who is Chiamaka's cousin and was in the apartment with Somto, remembered something very important. 3 months earlier, Chioma had a phone conversation with Chiamaka. The call was automatically recorded. In the conversation, she told Chioma that she would never marry out of pressure. According to Chiamaka, and I quote, "I know what I'm worth. If not ordained, I'd rather stay alone. Besides, my condition won't let me survive pregnancy anyway. I'm at peace with it." That recorded phone conversation changed everything. Chiamaka's family and other people started questioning Tony's claim. Tony began to spread Chiamaka's photos on a hospital bed. Her lifeless body, mouth open, eyes barely closed. This was taken 15 minutes before she died. According to Tony, it was Chiamaka's wish for that picture to be taken. The nurse at the hospital where Chiamaka died saw the picture and anonymously messaged Somto. According to the nurse, Chiamaka kept asking, "Where is Somto? Please call my brother." I asked if the man beside her was her husband. She whispered, "He's just someone I met. Please call my family." But the man did not let us. He said, "She's confused. She's mine." It was the missing piece. News were making rounds that Chiamaka got married without her family's permission, and now the family needed to clear their name and Chiamaka's name as well. The family came out to issue a public statement. They declared that no traditional or legal marriage ever occurred between our daughter and Mr. Tony Eze. All claims otherwise are false, and we retain full rights to her burial, estate, and public memory. Chiamaka was buried on a Saturday in a very quiet ceremony with a few family and friends. A week after Chiamaka's burial, Somto received a call from an investigator in Lagos. Your sister's phone record, we found something. The police had found out that Tony belonged to an online scamming syndicate. When they looked through the support group where Somto belonged, one of the anonymous numbers in that support group was linked to Mr. Tony Eze. Mr. Tony Eze did not meet her for love. He tracked her through a dating support group for women with blood disorder, where Chiamaka had once posted anonymously for emotional support. He chose her because of her condition, because she was vulnerable, because she had a life insurance through her hospital job, 15 million in benefits. He gathered all this information from Chiamaka while they were dating, but Chiamaka did not know that it was not true love, because Tony sounded like a perfect gentleman, and his attitude towards Chiamaka felt like the prayer point of every woman. Little did Chiamaka know that he was a scam. Tony knew that Chiamaka's chances of survival at every attack was very slim, but he had no human feeling. He was into scam, and so his target was clear: the life insurance. That was why he hurriedly fixed their court wedding before meeting Chiamaka's parents. Maybe the saying that people at their dying stage know and feel everything. That was why Chiamaka told the nurse to call her family. At that point, nobody knew what Chiamaka was thinking. Maybe her decision did not feel right to her, or maybe she figured it out that Tony was fake. Nobody knew the reason. After the burial, Tony went silent until he tried one final trick. He submitted a forged affidavit of marriage, claiming to be Chiamaka's legal spouse and requesting the release of her life insurance benefits. But the document had one flaw. He had spelled Chiamaka's surname Obianuju as Obianuchi on 3 pages. When the firm reached out to verify, Somto handed them the police file. This was the first time Somto heard about this life insurance and now knew the reason why Mr. Tony was in Chiamaka's life. They planned with the police, and the firma invited Mr. Tony to come sign the final document in order to get paid for the acclaimed wife life insurance benefit. Within 24 hours, Mr. Tony showed up in their office. He was arrested for forgery, impersonation, and attempted fraud. He was exposed for what he truly was: a predator who saw death as a doorway to profit. The case made the news, and for the first time, the world heard Chiamaka's voice through her saved voice recording, her journals, and her truth. She had died with dignity. Mr. Tony was charged to court and was slammed 10 years imprisonment, together with other charges that were brought forward against him. Some people wear love like a mask, but time always unmasks the liars. Chiamaka's life was short but pure, and in the end, it was truth, not money, that had the final word. She was just a victim. She was a woman who thought she found love despite her decision to stay single. If you enjoyed the story or you learned anything from this story, do well to subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for more interesting stories like this.